Destiny, how are you enjoying this new politics arc?
It's okay. Just kind of the residual red pill stuff is dripping out. Hopefully, I've got a debate coming up with Ben Shapiro. I've got two
I saw
different
that Lex is setting that shit up, right?
Lex and Jubilee are both trying to set shit up, and I think Ben
What?
has expressed interest. So yeah, I think we're getting closer to that. So that should be fun. Ben Shapiro, I saw you mention me on the Iced Coffee Hour podcast.
I'd be interested in debating Destiny.
I think we should have a debate over who the next president of the United States should be, and I bet Jubilee would host the debate for us.
This is the 113th episode of Middle Ground, and we want you to help us decide what the next 113 episodes will be. Join our Middle Ground Patreon community and make Middle Ground with us.
If you were to debate Shapiro, what would you debate him on?
I think I'm gonna do it on Biden's record in general, and then yeah, I think I'm.
You're not touching abortion? Because he seemed to talk to that abortion dude.
Oh no, no, Christ, no, hell no, Jesus.
Why? You had a lot to say about your abortion take. You don't want.
It's
want to.
such a. There's so many more important conversations I think that we need to be happening like nationally right now than fucking abortion. That.
Maybe I'm unaware, but isn't abortion like one of the biggest motivators for voting at the moment?
Yeah, but like there's no amount of moral argumentation that's moving somebody's opinion on that one way or another. And there's like way bigger arguments relating to like this upcoming election season is going to be really big.
Fair.
I mean, I guess they all are, right? But yeah.
Outside of Ben, is there anybody else that you really want to debate? Like if you had a dream.
I feel like Jordan Peterson would be really interesting.
Does he still do debates? I feel like he stopped post.
Benzo.
Yeah. Hasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know. His daughter keeps trying to set something up with me. I might be doing something in Phoenix with her in a month, but she's like super flaky, so who knows?
Is Ben like the #1 dream debate of all time?
Wow, Wood Baby. Thank you for the 786 viewers. Wood Baby. Hold on.
It's gotta be Ben.
It's gotta be Ben. I mean, like everybody calls me like the Ben Shapiro of the left and and I feel like as like crazy and silly and stupid as it is, I can't believe I'm actually saying this. And I don't know if he's grown or I've changed or what's happened, but I really do feel like from the little I've seen, Ben Shapiro is probably like the best. Like, I think he's actually like an okay human with how he approaches his conservative shit. And maybe it's my bar for conservatives has gotten so low, but like he doesn't think the election was stolen. He doesn't believe that like the vaccines are a conspiracy. He thinks that COVID was real. Like of all the things, like I think Ben is like a decent-ish kind of guy, even though everyone else on the Daily Wire is insane. But see the likes post on your Reddit talking about hosting you, Hassan, and Vosh. Would you do those? I don't know. I think I would have to ask him about that. The thing that I would see really interesting would be the thing that would be really interesting is if Lex Friedman could host something, because Lex is obviously a larger character. Either me and Jordan Peterson would be fun, or Sam Harris would be really fun. Lex Mattering, you and Hassan. Yeah, but I'm thinking like quality conversations. I would have a really good conversation with Sam Harris, and I think I'd have a pretty good conversation with Jordan Peterson. I don't think the quality of conversation with Hassan would not be good. What do you disagree with Harris on? I don't think we disagree, but I think we've had like similar political journeys. The main thing that I want to see right now, that we're entering kind of an interesting era of political stuff, is it seems like you're finally starting to see people like me. You're finally starting to see people that are like kind of centrist, but like actually like in the past historically, anybody that's not super that says that like oh I'm kind of like a centrist or whatever, right? Anytime you see somebody say that, that's always conservative in disguise. Every single time. It just means you're too like they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm a centrist and these are the 52 reasons why I'm voting for Trump and why I think the Democrats probably do kids in the basements of pizza shops, but I don't know 100%. I'd probably only give it like a 75% chance, right? That's like every centrist. It's like Dave Rubin. So it's interesting to see people, because I do think criticism of, for as much as people think I don't think this, I do think criticism of the establishment, criticism of the Democratic Party, I think it's really important, but that's one of the reasons why I'm so critical of the current like right, is because they're not in a position to criticize anything. They can't. They have no moral authority. They have no intellectual authority. They have nothing. They can't do anything. But yeah, it'd be interesting to talk to Sam Harris. Like, how do you have a moderated political position without shilling too hard or being used as a useful idiot for one end or the other? I think is an interesting conversation. Jonathan Haidt. Oh, Haidt would also be, I feel like that's probably somebody that I could reach out to alone. I just want to have a good topic for him. But I think I'm working on something with Erudite where we might have him on soon. That would be an interesting conversation as well, although a little bit more circle jerky. I think, because it seems like we probably align on most things from the little that I know about him. No chance for Joe Rogan. I mean, Rogan would be obviously cool, but Rogan is still, I think... Rogan's not really out of my reach. It's just a matter of if they're interested or not, I guess. So whenever they're interested, that'll happen. If they're interested, that'll happen.
Now, if you could speak nicely about someone on the left, who would you say on the left, you know, yourself not included, would be a great debater that you think does a good job?
Oof. Kyle Kalinske is getting better. I appreciate where he's going. Jesus Christ.
You had like a, I wouldn't say a beef, but you didn't like him for a bit, yeah?
Yeah, I felt like he was
I'm
way
surprised.
too politically partisan.
But he's coming around.
Yeah, I don't know what's changed. The liberalism is flowing through the internet again or something. Thank God. But yeah, watching him defend Biden to Brianna Joy Gray or whatever was really, really, really good. There was a really good conversation. He's gotten better at like, I'm being critical of Biden. I don't like what Biden is doing, but I can give him credit for what he's done. It's so hard for people that are far on the left to do that.
Clearly, we have a disagreement in terms of how good of a job Joe Biden is doing. Because like I said, I expected nothing of him, Brianna. I expected, this is the guy who brought us the Iraq War and the Patriot Act and NAFTA, and he's like the poster child of the conservative Democrat and the neoliberal. But then he gets in office and he does all these things which shock me. He massively reduced the drone war by over 90%. He, like I said, pulled out of Afghanistan. The Supreme Court overturned the EPA's ability to regulate greenhouse gas emissions. And the Democrats slipped into the IRA a provision that redefines carbon as a pollutant, which then allows the EPA to start protecting the environment again. If we didn't get that, and yes, that was brought to us by Democrats, we would be beyond f***ed on the issue of climate change. We still are, but we'd be even more f***ed if the EPA couldn't do basic EPA stuff. We have project labor agreements for hundreds of thousands of construction workers. That came to us from Biden. $15 minimum wage for federal contractors and employees. That's from Biden. Gun reform with red flag laws and closing the boyfriend loophole. Those are definitely good things. Ketanji Brown Jackson on the court. A George Floyd executive order to create a registry of abusive cops. We have the PACT Act, which is health care for veterans exposed to toxic burn pits, which every single Republican voted against. He added 800,000 manufacturing jobs. I didn't expect any of these things. So when I talk about Biden the way I do, is because none of these things were on the menu and we got them. So now when I look at the fact it's either going to be Trump or Biden, a standard generic Republican or standard generic Democrat, the way I feel now versus the way I felt in the past is like, oh, this is definitely way better.
Yeah, Jubilee must love you considering the views that you got them on that last video. They've been trying to, they must be glazing over you now.
Yeah, they were pretty clever in their email, to be honest. But
Yeah?
I'm like a really easy, I'm nice because I've got like the trifecta of like, I'm big talent, but I also am like very punctual and I respond to emails, but I'm also like very, like I take direction really well. So like they were very nervous in this last video about like, hey, like we know you do your stuff, but like we're not looking for huge debates. Like we need you to be chill, like ask questions, like help the people have a conversation. And I think I work with people really well. So I think everything went pretty good with production and everything too. So I think it worked. Yeah.
That's good. I will say Jubilee definitely got beef with us.
What'd you do to Jubilee?
They said we were bullies.
Oh, when you went on or something, or was your reaction
No, I
afterwards?
never been on. Just when we covered the videos, they were like, "Oh, they're mean." I thought that was funny.
I don't like when other channels react to our videos. Taylor?
Disagree.
Dan?
Disagree.
Brandon?
Somewhat agree. Abba and preach. I watch Avon Preach videos, and I think every time I watch a video it like hurts, because I remember when Avon Preach reacted to our video when Bonnie has a conversation with a Jubilee critic, like watching that video, I think that ruined my like entire week. Like I was very like bummed because.
Well, were you mean?
But, I mean, there's some videos. But I'm glad that you have a good. Are you going to work with any other production companies like that? Or do you want to ever run your own stuff like that? Or do you feel like the trouble of having to do so is just not worth it?
For a whole setup like that, that's a way bigger involved thing that I would have no desire to do. One podcast at a time, my friend.